How's it going, ladies, gentlemen, and others? I am Sturdy Newhat, and today we are back, and we are playing more Doom. Last time we went through Knee Deep in the Dead, and now we are on to episode 2, The Shores of Hell. And of course we're playing through on Ultraviolence. Music is still good. Oh man, so, this episode is different from episode 1. Most of the maps here were designed by Tom Hall and Sandy Peterson as opposed to John Romero. Well, I say designed by. They were started by Tom Hall and finished by Sandy Peterson. We'll get into why later, but most of the maps are a lot bigger than the maps in the first episode. Which leads to a sort of different playstyle, and I think a lot of people don't really like the maps in Doom 2. I think a lot of them are interesting, but there are a couple of issues. But the first map is great, absolute bloodbath, in case you couldn't already tell. There's also a couple of new things introduced in episode 2 if you thought that episode 1 didn't have anything left to show you. You'll see some cool stuff in episode 2. For now we just need to clear out all of these imps, and there we go. So grab the armour. This switch will open up 2 new switches. This one opens up secret here with the red keycard in it. And this one opens a teleporter in the starting area. And that will get us access to a new weapon, which is introduced this episode, but also will show us the new demon introduced in this episode, and that is the Caca demon. So, yeah, you might not have been able to see it in the darkness there. I'll wait and see if I can bait the pinkies out. Yeah, but the Caca demon is introduced there. The Caca demon is a large flying tomato. Oh, shotgunner. A large flying tomato that will shoot fireballs at you, and if you thought the pinky demons were bullet spongy, the Caca demon can take 6 or 7 shotgun blasts to kill. Never mind the pinkies, 3. However, this secret is totally worth getting because it gets us access to the plasma gun. There it is. I'll show you the plasma gun, but I want to save as much ammo as I can for it because it's very useful during the boss fight of this episode. I'll grab the health actually before I go through the teleporter. There we go. I'll shotgun the pinkies from down here. But yeah, the boss fight, the boss level in episode 2 is one of the few episodes, the levels in episode 2 that is fondly remembered. Jesus. It's very good, and it sets up a lot of what people fondly remember Doom for. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a couple of moments in this where I might die. I know I made the joke in episode 1 that I'm not going to die. I've been playing Doom since I was far too young to be playing Doom. That's for episode 1. Episode 2 and 3 have moments. In episode 4, I will definitely die. I'm not getting through episode 4 without dying. Some of these levels are a bit tricky, and some of them have a few traps in them that would make John Romero happy. So here's the red keycard secret, which gets us access to 3 shotgunners, which is always fun when you don't kill them quickly. A Spectre gets us the auto map, but it also gets us a mega armor. 200 armor and 100 health, how about that? 195 armor and 100 health, how about that? Another thing that will be explored, or that I'll make apparent to you guys in this one, is infighting, which just happened there for a bit, but wasn't really all that important. There we go, 6 shotgun shells left, so I should be able to take out this Caca demon perfectly. They shoot fireballs at you, and they have a melee attack that if you're playing right, and it's not dead, that if you're playing right you should never see. And the plasma gun. The plasma gun and the chain gun are really good for dealing with Caca demons and the lost souls in this episode. Partly because of the stun lock, but also partly because of the high damage. And that's first episode done, Deimos Anomaly. So, last time we found ourselves working through the Phobos moon base. We got to the end and we killed the 2 Barons of Hell that were in charge. And then we found ourselves transported to the Deimos moon base that had vanished completely. And now we get to work our way through that. This episode is... well, this level is not very fondly remembered, but actually I think it is one of the better ones. It's got a giant box maze in it, and this is really... and the introduction of the Berserk power-up. We'll talk about the Berserk. The Berserk power-up does 2 things. Firstly, it restores your health to 100 if your health was below 100, but also it increases your punch damage 10 times, which makes your punch a really viable weapon since between 1 and 2 punches will kill an imp, and between 1 and 3 punches will kill a pinky demon. So it's really useful if, like me right now, you're trying to conserve shotgun ammo. That door isn't open. But yeah, this episode has a really large box maze in it that's kind of hard to navigate. Even I forget where I'm going a good portion of the time. There's a secret with 40 shotgun shells, worth grabbing. But this map really sets the tone for the way the maps are going to be designed in this episode. In this episode there are a lot of extra rooms and maps. The maps are generally a lot bigger than they were in episode 1, which isn't really a complaint, but they have a lot of extra side rooms that are entirely optional, which is fine, but a lot of them are kind of confusing to navigate. And when you have something that's confusing to navigate and quite big, and not all of the rooms are actually necessary or useful, then it can lead to a couple of frustrating moments. I think the one that's worst for it is it containment area? No, command center. Command center is probably the worst for it, but that's fine because I don't play most of that mission anyway. Ever. I never play through that mission in full, so it put a lot of people off, and that's understandable, but I don't think... and also, episode 2 has the worst secret level in Doom. I don't think it's the worst level, partly because of how mercifully short it is. I think the worst level comes up in episode 3. Or maybe in Thy Flesh Consumed. I mean, but it's definitely the worst secret level. Okay, imps are down. So there's 3 ways I can go, but one of them's blocked off the blue keycard. This is the only actual viable way to go. Through this door and up these stairs. And then there's lots of paths up here, most of them optional, again. Some of these maps can be kind of hard to navigate. This one I think I'll maybe spend the most time in, save some ammo just by punching. So there are these crusher things here. Around this corner there should be more imps. There we go. Boy, my accuracy is very off today. There we go, so these crusher things, there's some ammo and health generally behind here. Oh, Pinky Demon. I'll save the ammo. There we go. But in this crusher there is a secret down here with some health bonuses and 20 shotgun shells, and then a single armor bonus. For some reason, I don't know. But yeah, I suppose I should talk about why these maps are the way they are. So in the first episode, most of the maps, 7 out of the 9, were designed by John Romero. And John Romero has a very specific style to his maps. He likes them being cramped, he likes them being fairly short, he likes to include a good amount of traps in them. And he had a different vision for what Doom would be than the people who designed these maps. Most of these maps were started by a guy called Tom Hall. And at the time, Tom Hall was creative director at id Software. And he wasn't really happy about the fact that John Romero and John Carmack and most of the other people there, oh, secret plasma gun, most of the other people there weren't really listening to his ideas, which is understandable because he was technically creative director. And he didn't really want to make Doom. They were coming off of Wolfenstein and he didn't want to make any more first-person shooters. What he wanted to do was go back to id's roots and make another Commander Keen game. But the guys at id weren't really into that, and so it ended up with Tom Hall leaving. Or being pushed out. There's kind of some interesting conflicting reports there, but In any event, Tom Hall had started work on Doom, and because of creative differences, he ended up leaving. And so the two Johns, John Romero, and of course the member of the Q Continuum that lives inside the vessel we know as John Carmack. Yeah, this is why the plasma gun is great. Brought in Sandy Peterson to finish these maps. And one of the things you'll notice about these maps, or I suppose I noticed and I will point out, yeah, we can't leave, so we have to go all the way through. There's a bunch of secrets here. The maps are a little rough around the edges. So you'll notice here all the textures are aligned on the walls except for one, and that means we can open this. And there are more imps to deal with. So there's a secret, inside a secret, inside a secret. And actually there's another secret behind this wall. Nah, I'm just kidding. Here's the exit. No, I'm kidding. There's totally another secret behind that wall. There's lots of secrets beside secrets within secrets in this episode as well, which is interesting. I don't know. But yeah, so they brought Sandy Peterson in to finish the work that Tom Hall had started. But the problem is Sandy Peterson was only brought in with 10 weeks left before the game was to be released. So all of this stuff was being worked on last minute by a new person who, yeah, definitely had a vision, although the Doom Bible is interesting and some of that stuff was recycled in other games. So a lot of this episode feels kind of disjointed and kind of incomplete. And there are definitely, idiots, walking in the crusher. Here's the secret with the chainsaw, but also a bunch of lost souls, which are by far the worst enemy in Doom. They are made far better in Doom 2 by the fact that the super shotgun one hits them, but these guys take 2 shotgun blasts, they charge at you, and you generally find them in high numbers. Higher numbers than you would find in Doom 2, but they're annoying. But they have some interesting interactions with infighting, and they're okay, but they are definitely the worst enemy in Doom 1. So a lot of these maps, yeah, started by Tom Hall, finished by Sandy Peterson. And I think they're all okay. I think they get a far worse rep than most people imagine. So there's a secret here. If you see that corner is lighter than all the other ones, if we stand in it, that reveals a soul sphere. I think I called the soul spheres megaspheres in the last episode. Megaspheres aren't introduced until Doom 2, those are soul spheres. Although I think technically the game calls them supercharges, but they're soul spheres. So I now have the blue key, which means I can open this door, which lets me get the red key. The red key leads me to the exit, but we also picked up the yellow key earlier on. There are 2 yellow key doors in the starting area, or just off from the starting area, and if I remember rightly, one of them is round here? Yeah. So this one, this one, right, okay, cool. Backpack here, 2 imps, and this one gets us access to the rocket launcher. So grab the rocket here. And as you see, 3 doors, 3 switches, so we push each of the switches and that opens each of the doors. One with a bunch of imps, one with a bunch of pinky demons, and one with, I think, 2 lost souls. I think it's 4 imps, 2 pinkies, 2 lost souls. And again, the lost souls are the worst, just the worst. Chain gun, really useful for them, plasma gun, useful for them, but I don't really want to waste the ammo, so... Another imp. So this room, you go in, you grab the rockets, and a secret pops. And then you go in here and grab the rocket launcher, and a secret pops. And then you go in here and grab this box of bullets, and a secret pops. Whoever it was that copy-pasted that room to make that section, copy-pasted the secret tag as well. It's just stuff like that that makes this level, but also this episode just feel kind of hastily stuck together. Not that way. And here's the other yellow keycard door, and this gets us access to the chain gun. I'll just punch these guys out. I don't need to waste the ammo on a couple of pinkies. Plus, it's satisfying. Excellent. So by level 2, we've got our hands on the shotgun, we've got our hands on the chain gun, we've got our hands on the rocket launcher, which was the most powerful weapon from episode 1, and we've got our hands on the plasma gun, which is, I think, definitely the most powerful weapon in episode 2. Yeah, I was thinking there is one more weapon to be introduced, but I don't think it gets introduced this episode. So through the red door, kill these imps. This switch opens our way to the exit. Good times. "10 minutes on a map, that's quite a lot." Refinery. This map is okay-ish. I remember this map for a couple of reasons. Firstly, all the cacodemons in the cage. Secondly, it uses the intermission screen music, which is kinda lazy and again contributes to the feel of episode 2 being sort of stuck together. But another reason I remember it, which is a really nerdy reason, and there should be other riflemen. There they are. Okay. Riflemen normally come forward. Yeah, there's a texture used in this map that isn't used in any other map. In there are some valves. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, there they are. The valves. That valve texture is used on this map, in this room, and nowhere else in the rest of the game. And it doesn't really appear in custom maps either. So we can go the other way, but there's toxic sludge, so this way is preferable. We'll kill these demons, and then there is a secret here with a backpack full of ammo. I already picked up a backpack, but the backpacks are useful. They give you one of the smallest ammo drop for each ammo type, and they also double your carrying capacity, so they're always worth grabbing if you see them. Yeah, this room. This is one of the things I actually do quite like about episode 2. The more abstractionist elements. Episode 1 was pretty straightforward. You were on a military science base. But in this episode, because of reasons that will become apparent, we'll get into later on, you start to see more sort of hellish abstractionist elements to the level design and the textures, and I really appreciate that. It's pretty cool. So grab a shotgun, and here we get our first Baron encounter. And the Baron encounter begins by him murdering all of his friends. Yeah, so here we actually get to see a good example of infighting. So if a monster damages another monster, it will become aggressive to the monster that damaged it. There are a set number of rules for how this works, and what governs it. There we go. But as you saw there, the Baron of Hell destroyed a bunch of barrels that damaged those Pinky Demons, and the Pinky Demons attacked the Baron, and the Baron fought back. That there was a blind Pinky Demon. There are 2 blind Pinky Demons in this episode, and again, I'll make a highlight of the other one because it really adds to the feeling of this all just being stuck together when glitches like that make their way through. But yeah, infighting was not really... It happened in the first episode, but it's not really as essential to harder difficulty playthrough. Here is our secret plasma gun, which is again always worth grabbing. Although I've got some plasma ammo to spare. I want about 150-ish plasma cells for the boss. But yeah, infighting is not as essential to know about or exploit in the first episode. The first episode gives you a lot of ammo, so you don't really need to use it. In this episode you need to use it sometimes on the higher difficulties just to save ammo. But yeah, there's a couple of rules that govern it. So firstly, for projectile based enemies like the Imp or the Baron or the Cacodemon, they can only infight with other demon types, so they can't infight with themselves because their projectiles don't do damage to themselves. So an imp can't damage another imp, but an imp can damage a Pinky Demon with a projectile. That's not true for hit scanners, so like the shotgun sergeants and the zombie riflemen. They can shoot and kill each other and themselves. Barons, actually, enemies that shoot projectiles can infight with themselves, but only indirectly. So if a Baron was standing next to another Baron and used a projectile to blow up a barrel, and that barrel damaged the second Baron, they would start infighting. Aside from that, it doesn't really happen, it's very rare. Lost Souls have interesting infighting rules. They're only attracted or aggroed to an enemy for one attack, and then after that they immediately start chasing the player again. Melee enemies can't really infight with each other all that much unless they're attacked by something else. Anyway, go across here, and this is why the chain gun is very useful for dealing with cacodemons. Not when there's an imp behind them though. There we go. I'm not wasting the chain gun ammo on him. I'll shotgun this guy to death. And there's also, I think, a spectre in the exit room. Yes, there is. Cool. So I'll highlight some cool instances of infighting, and again, the secret level, the worst secret level in Doom, infighting is pretty much essential on the harder difficulties. Deimos Lab starts off with a secret that gives us some more shotgun ammo, which you're gonna probably be running low on at this point. Okay, shotgunner and 4 imps. That's 3. Okay, Pinky Demon coming in. This map is also okay. Episode 2 really does lean into the toxic sludge quite a lot. So you have long levels that are kind of hard to navigate, that have a lot of extra side rooms that don't really do much, and constantly damaging floors. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I couldn't remember where the proc for this is, but this lowers the bars, I guess, down, and also opens this monster closet with 2 pinkies, a caco, and 2 lost souls. There we go. That was a waste of rocket ammunition, but it gets us access to some more shotgun shells and some more bullets, armor if you need it, and the map, which I'm not going to use. Yeah, pits of toxic sludge are used quite a lot in episode 2. I don't really like it, but episode 3 also leans quite heavily on the boiling blood. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there. Take out the imps. We'll talk about this now. So the Barons of... Oh, I missed it. Yeah, if you shoot in there, this opens up, and this gets you access to a chain gun if you haven't already got it, and a partial invisibility, which we are not going to get, for reasons I explained in episode 1. Partial invisibility is great if you're a new player. If you're not a new player, don't grab it, it will almost definitely get you killed. I suppose I should talk about the Barons of Hell. They only appear in episode 1 as the boss fight, but they appear as regular enemies. Admittedly not very common regular enemies in episode 2, which is cool, I'm fine with that, but some of the levels do put them in awkward positions. The secret level especially, grab the shotgun shells, is bad for it, but I'm going to be shotgunning a lot of Barons of Hell because I'm trying to save ammo for the next Baron of Hell that I come across. Yeah, I don't have the rockets to take this guy out, so I'm going to be shotgunning this Baron. In the first episode, they're generally easier to deal with because, oh Jesus, because there's only 2 of them, and you have, by the time you get there, enough rockets to deal with them, and the spectres. This episode you tend to have slightly less ammo, and admittedly I did waste those rockets at the start of the mission. There we go. But you can be left shotgunning Barons of Hell more than you would like. And that's not really fun, that's just kinda tedious. So I push that, and this will pull the chain gun out. A couple of crushers, which we saw earlier on, and another cacodemon. Again, the chain gun. Far too useful for dealing with the cacodemons. Plasma gun as well. Useful for the cacodemons and the lost souls. And that's why. So it doesn't 100% stun lock them, but it can make dealing with them a lot easier. So, across the way we get our hands on a rad suit, we get some ammo, and down here we get a berserk pack. There we are. Again, berserk, very useful for saving ammo. Now, there is... yeah, there's an opening here behind this armour that isn't open yet, and I can never remember where the trigger for it is. I think it might be running through here? I think if I run through here that should open up the wall. Or is it through here? I don't know. there's a trigger that only opens up the wall at a certain point. Yeah, it's open now, there we go. So this wasn't open a minute ago, but it is now, and I always forget where the trigger is. This room is full of spectres and pinkies, but it also has a soul charge and some ammo and stuff like that. The soul charge is really what I'm after, and I'm going to try and save ammunition, but my rad suit is running out, so I should get back in here. I'm going to try and save ammo. You can deal with these pinky demons pretty easily as long as you can backpedal well enough. If you can't, they will swarm you, and there's a couple of spectres as well, which if you're trying to fight them in the dark area is kind of annoying. But punching these guys is so fun. It's interesting, the Doom guy is right-handed when he holds a shotgun right-handed, but he holds the pistol in his left, and when he punches, he favours his left hand as well. Doom guy is ambidextrous. Cool. Partial invisibility and armour there, but we got the blue key card a while ago, so now we can go through the blue door, which is here. And again, we get to see more of the science base become hellish abstractionist through the door, but there's a cacodemon around here that I want to deal with because I want to get my hands on that backpack. Again, the backpack is useful. It gets you 1 rocket and I think 20 energy cells. So it's worth grabbing just for getting more of those ammo. Another Baron of Hell here. Again, I'm going to shotgun him solely so I can save the better ammo for when I need it. And you'll see when I need it, I do need it. Shotgunning a Baron now means I don't have to shotgun 4 Barons in the future. I may have to, but we'll see. So there's the yellow key card, surrounded by these fire blue pillars. Yeah, that texture is called fire blue, and it's horrific. It doesn't appear much in episode 2. It appears more in episode 3. This area is really fun. So we come to the right, and we see a window, and we see that there's an area down the way. If we come round, we find some ammo round here, just at the other window, and we can go down this bit, and there are 5 doors. 5 doors of mystery. 2 of them you can't open. But this one you can, and if you shoot this barrel, you will get access to a mega armor. 200 health and armor. 195 health and armor, how about that? This door opens, and we can go through here. And this gets us access to some weapons, well, not some weapons, but some ammo, some armor, and some health, if you need it. And it closes behind you, and you're thinking, being punished. And you are, but not in the way you think. You can escape through here, but you're going to have to fight through all these lost souls. At the end of this corridor, you're going to see an unpegged texture glitch. If you look at the floor and the door as it opens, you'll see that the floor texture moves. Up with the door. Yeah. That's not the only one in this episode. That's not the only one in this level. So in here, we get to grab our shotgun shells, and you'll hear the doors open. And these doors contain a pinky demon and a cacodemon each, just for good measure. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna have to shotgun all these guys. Well, the cacodemon damaged the pinky demon a little bit there. Again, chain gun is very useful for these guys, make use of it. So down there are 2 health packs, in the lava there's a rocket, and there's a secret door with another unpegged texture in the floor. That's 2 unpegged textures in this level, in this area. Again, I like some of these levels and the way they're done and the atmosphere, but they all do feel really put together. So there's a hole in the floor here, as I'm sure you can see, and this gets us access to a secret plasma gun. And, okay, I've got 14 rockets, okay, I wasted plasma ammo. And it teleports us up to the top of where we would be going. And now we can shoot all the demons in the back. This area has, counting that cacodemon, 4 cacodemons and 2 Barons of Hell. So one of the cacodemons will probably be floating about the bottom. Oh, he's, okay, came further up than I had hoped for. And I haven't raised the stairs, so I'm kind of blocked in. There we go. I'll see if I can bait the cacodemons out just by shooting. I don't know if I can. Nah, they don't seem to be moving. Okay, so there are a bunch of imps, 2 cacodemons, yep, and 2 barons of hell in this enclosed space, which can make it fun. There we go, there's one of the barons. One of the cacodemons is dead, there's imps. If you're not on top of things, this area can be bad, but there is a teleporter that can get you out of here if you become stuck, but once it's down to just the barons... Yeah, only the barons left now, so this should be fine. I'll probably just shotgun them. I'd weaken them up a little bit, and I think the cacodemon... What happened to the other cacodemon? Must have in-fought with the barons and then got killed, I guess. Shotgun these guys. The cacodemon is not dead. Okay, never mind. Okay, now the cacodemon is dead, so we've just got one more baron. I will shotgun him to death. I think it takes like 15 or 16 shotgun shells to kill a baron, which is not ideal, but to be fair, they are kind of boss monsters, so... Again, shotgunning this baron will mean that I don't have to shotgun 4 barons in the future. So here's the elevator to get back up if you want to, that switch activates it. But there is nothing more I want to go and get, so this teleporter... Take us here. I really like that texture. And one final pink demon. There we go. So down here there is a pool of boiling blood, and if we go over here and flip this switch, that raises up a platform. As you see, there's a soul sphere over there, but there's no path to it. Once we open up the exit and kill the... Oh. Don't miss all of your shotgun shots. This path will open up. We can grab a soul sphere. We get to leave here with 200 health. How about that? Oh, command center. Okay, straight up, I don't like this level. It's really long. There are some items that are worth going through the level to get, if you need them. But there are a couple of barons, a baron in a cage at one point, rooms full of pinky demons and lost souls. You're going to be hunting for ammo a lot of the time. It's really windy. There's teleporters that teleport you back to the start of the map. I don't like it. That's not to say that it's that bad, but this map epitomizes every problem that most people have with episode 2. However, luckily, this is the level with the secret exit, and it's pretty early on and easy to get to, so you don't really have to play through much of this level if you don't want to. And I don't want to, but also I want to show you guys the secret level. But also, the secret level is the worst secret level in the game. I don't think it's the worst level in the game, some people do. But it's short enough, so... there's going to be 2 barons of hell out there, and also cacodemons, and imps, and lost souls, and shotgunners. All the shotgunners are dead, so we just get the imps, the lost souls, the cacodemons, and the barons to deal with. But also, I'm not going to deal with the cacodemons or the barons. I'm just not going to kill them. At this point, it's a waste of ammo, and given what the secret level is like, you're going to see why I want to keep as much ammo as I can. Okay, that's everything, I think. Okay, I pissed off one of the cacodemons, but there's the cell ammo that I want to get, and I missed it, and I got hit by the barons, right. Grab the shotgun shells that are back here, I'll grab the minigun, and I am out. They can do whatever they want. I am not going to bother fighting them. I know it seems kinda cheap, and you would expect me to kill them, but when you see the secret level, you'll understand why. So, a couple of imps to deal with, a room full of pinkies, and then a room full of lost souls, and this level is done. Again, I do quite like a lot of the design elements in these levels. Like, this is a moon base, and you can see from the top there's like LED or some kind of electric lighting, but a lot of the architecture has been taken over by sort of hellish elements. like the cobbled stone and the rivers of blood and stuff like that. Like, the moon base did not look like this before the invasion, so that's kind of cool. Design-wise, I really like episode 2. Chainsaw is good in here because you can deal with them one at a time without being swarmed. There we go. Grab the ammo. And this switch here opens up the stairs to the secret exit. I know what you're thinking. Where's the exit? This is a trick wall. See? Look at that. You can just walk right through it. This teleporter will take us to this room. Full of lost souls. Again, I hate lost souls, so I'm going to plasma gun them because that's the only viable way of dealing with them without taking a lot of damage. There we go. And I don't think any went through the teleporter, so yeah, we're good. This secret teleporter here, within the secret, will take us to the secret exit. Oh boy. Again, I don't like Command Center, but at least you can leave it early, but you're not leaving it early for a good time. Fortress of Mystery. Starts you in a room with 4 Barons of Hell. Yeah, 4 Barons of Hell and a Mega Armor. Enjoy. If you want to escape the room, you can run into this room. This room has 8 Cacodemons in it. Enjoy. And this is also all of the level. The entire level is these 2 rooms. So what I'm going to do is try and corral the Cacodemons up and get the Barons to infight with them by doing damage to each other. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so they started infighting now. You saw a Baron magic bolt hit the Cacodemons, but if I can get more of them to infight, that would be good. Let's see if I can get them to infight with this Baron here. There we go. Right, good. And they'll start infighting with the Cacodemons, because otherwise having enough ammo to reasonably do this without taking a lot of damage is just not reasonable. I'm going to throw all my rockets in here just because it's the easiest way to do lots of damage to all of the enemies at once. And then I'll go back. So the starting room gives you access to one of every weapon. There's the shotgun, there's the chainsaw, which I already have, the auto map. It also gives you a backpack, yep. You'll get a chain gun, a rocket launcher, and a plasma gun, which I've already picked up. So if you're missing any of the weapons, then you can get one here. I think all the Cacodemons are dead now. The Barons killed them all. And softened up the Barons. Wow, that is the best I have ever gone through this mission. I think I only got hit like once or twice. This exit is terrible. Unpegged texture. Yep, there it is. And this ending is just keys to open doors, to get keys to open doors, to open keys to get doors, and then there's a teleporter. Again, I don't think it's terrible. It is the worst. It is the worst secret level, but it's over quickly, so it's not the worst in the game. This level, Halls of the Damned. Yeah, I might die here. There are at least 2 instances where it's not unlikely that I'll die. If I die, I will pistol start this level over again, which would be a shame because I would lose a lot of the plasma ammo that I've saved up for the final boss fight. There is a Berserk pack here, and we see more of this episode's reliance on damaging floors. We get to this switch, and this switch opens up the rest of the map. So right there, is the exit door, and as you see, it's blue keycard. So if we come around here, there's the blue keycard, and here are a couple of pinky demons in an enclosed space, and that went better than I thought it was going to. I thought I was going to take a lot of damage there, but obviously RN Jesus was on my side with the pinky demon AI. Cool, and there's the other imp. Okay, well, I now have the blue keycard. If you don't have the chainsaw, you can get it in here. It's not a secret, it's just kind of hidden. So, great, we can leave now, right? Yeah, so you need all 3 keycards to go out the exit door. One of the keycards, oh yeah, flip this switch. I think that switch gets me access to a mega armor that I will definitely need. That is a maze, and it's dark, and it's full of pinkies and cacodemons and barons of hell. So, before you go in there, come in here, kill the Lost Souls, and kill this Cacodemon. Get whatever health you need, and there are some light amplification goggles here, and they will make that dark maze very bright. Look, I can now actually see, which is kind of useful to survival. There's only a couple of pinkies that we're going to come across in the first bit, yeah. But you'll hear a door open in a minute. There it is. That opens a door with 4 pinky demons and a Baron of Hell. So we'll come through here, we will deal with the Riflemen and the Spectres and the Imps and the Lost Souls. A Cacodemon will also spawn in the maze, but I think I can avoid it. I don't think I need the thing that triggers it, so I'll probably just leave it. There's also another hidden plasma gun here, but it spawns a bunch of Lost Souls, and you generally use the plasma ammo you get from picking up the gun. It's up there, I'm not going to grab it. I think I've got enough plasma ammo anyway. But yeah, this area, the first time I went through, I didn't know about the light amplification goggles that were around. And this area is a nightmare. If my light amplification goggles run out, I am probably going to be in for a bad time. But yeah, I really like this room. Aside from the whole darkness thing, when you can actually see it, it's coolly designed. There's like a pedestal with a heart on it in a military research base. Again, I like the sort of hellish influence here. It's cool. There's lots of circuitry knocking around. I don't know, I just really like the... Oh. Okay. There's the red keycard. So at this point we have the blue keycard, we have the red keycard, we just need to get the yellow-orange keycard. Shotgun shells and a box of rockets. And I'm kind of wanting my light amplification goggles to wear off so I can show you how dark this is. Oh, there it is. Speak of the devil. Yeah, so this is how dark this room normally is. Imagine doing everything I just did when it's this dark. There's another pair of light amplification goggles here, so that makes this bearable. Oh, I didn't mean to grab that. Okay, I got the partial invisibility, which is not ideal, since we now have to fight the pink demons and the Baron that have spawned behind us. Okay, I could have got them to fight, but this is fine. I'll probably just shotgun the Baron to death. This is not the only Baron in this episode, and this is probably the easiest one to deal with once you've got the light goggles, so I'll just try and avoid taking too much damage and shotgun him to death. There we go. And this is where they came from. We get some shotgun shells and a rocket. And there's also a mega armor. Nope, there's another one of the pinkies. There's a mega armor around here somewhere. It's not... Is it over here? Here it is. I think this is opened by the switch. I'm not totally sure about that. But anyway, now we have 200 armor, 100 health, and we can go and get the final keycard. Now, by coming in here, I've also unleashed more pinky demons and another Baron of Hell, so we'll go deal with them now. But I don't want to go down that corridor, because there are 2 pinky demons in at the side, and if you go down that corridor, they will be behind you while you're dealing with these guys in front of you, and it's just a bad time. Have the rockets to make this easy enough. It's probably kind of wasteful, but nah, that'll be fine. So now I can go through here and push this switch, which opens this door behind us. And we get access to this kind of service area, and our light amplification goggles are wearing off. Cool. We get through here, there's Cacodemon, who is kind of annoying considering how enclosed this space is. Cacodemons are really bullet spongy, and I think... yeah, this is the door. I think a lot of the time they are put in solely for you to use up a lot of your ammo, which is kind of annoying in terms of, you know, game design, but they kind of work. They have a, they shoot fireballs, obviously, but they also have a melee attack. They bite you, but realistically, as long as you're playing properly, you will never ever see that attack. Okay, so we have the final keycard. The keycard will also open a bunch of monster closets to give us some imps and some lost souls, I think? Light amplification goggles are here, but you don't really need them. None of the other areas are as dark as the maze that we've already been through. Deal with the lost souls. The lost souls would be fine if they didn't take 2 shotgun blasts, but they're very annoying. They have some interesting infighting properties though, so they're kind of useful sometimes. I don't want to go down here. I think I want to go... Okay. Right, I'll go this way because there is armor and plasma cells in here. I don't need the armor, but plasma cells are useful. There's a thing coming up that this level is kind of infamous for doing, and again, it's another one of the traps. There's some rockets in one of the closets here, so pull out the chain gun and I will just stun lock these guys to death. Door fighting is also an integral part. You saw some of that in the first episode. Door fighting is pretty useful for rooms like this. Being in here, in this room and fighting them all is just not going to happen. So grab the shotgun shells, and where are the rockets? Oh, they're over here. Cool. I don't need the armor, I don't need the health, really. So, yeah, what's coming up? The exit. Look, the exit door. And all you need is the orange keycard or the yellow keycard. Look, there's the exit button. No, it's a trap. Full of shotgunners and a cacodemon, and boy, the first time and the second time I came across this, I did not have the ammo to deal with this, and I did not have the health to survive this. Oh. Once you know what's coming, it's bearable, but if you're not ready, those shotgunners will destroy your health, and the cacodemons will block you in. Having the plasma gun is useful there. The rocket launcher, not so much. The space is enclosed enough that you will just blow yourself apart. You get a soul sphere for your trouble, which is nice. There's the way out. Of course, grabbing that key has spawned, or has opened another closet with 4 pinky demons and another Baron of Hell. Oh yeah, and I didn't even kill the pinky demons in here. Here they are. Yeah, they'll be behind you while you're dealing with the pinky demons and the Baron that we dealt with earlier, so... Cool, I can grab the shotgun ammo, and the other Baron and pinkies don't generally come out of their closet, but one of them has. Or maybe it's Pinky from the maze. They don't generally come out of their closet until you actually pass them. So they're in this closet here, and they are not. Okay. Oh, they're through the door. Right, cool. They are through the door. So they're probably in the toxic sludge, and the Baron is there, and... Okay, that was less than ideal, and I now don't have a lot of armor. Okay. That wasn't meant to happen. So normally, those guys don't come out of their monster closet until you pass by them or you shoot in that area. Oh, they must have woke up. Yeah, they must have become aggroed when they heard me kill the 2 pinky demons in that corridor. Okay, that has cost me a lot because I am not going to be at full armor again, or close to full armor for a while now. Okay, well, this level's over, and this is the real exit button. Halls of the Damned. And, okay, technical issues. Spawning vats. Okay. Spawning vats is the penultimate level, and it does not mess around. It starts you off in this room with 2 pinky demons. One of them will bite you immediately if you don't move. I really like the aesthetic design of this level. Some of the stuff it does can really do with not existing. This room will also introduce us to another new power-up. So this episode introduced the Berserk, and this level will introduce the Invulnerability Sphere, which is as cool as it sounds. However, I need to think this out because I don't have the health or armor that I would normally have here, and if I'm not careful, I will get surrounded by pinkies. But it's cool. So the Invulnerability Sphere turns our screen white and makes us invulnerable to most damage. And we can also grab ourselves a berserk, which means we can just punch all of these guys without restraint or risk to ourselves. Well, you can when you don't miss all the punches. There we go. Okay, that went about as good as could be expected. Yeah, not having enough health or armour is gonna be a bit of a problem this level. I wouldn't have thought this level was going to kill me, but it might. Now, again, if I die I'll pistol start, but that'd be a real shame because I've been doing good to save my plasma ammo. Baron of Hell and 2 cacodemons outside. Again, I don't want to waste the ammo, so I'll make them infight. This gives us the auto map and some ammo, I think. Oh, and a partial invisibility, that's not great. Might be hard to get these guys to infight now. Oh, they're all... okay, the Baron is already infighting with one of the cacodemons. They'll fight to the death. The Baron will win. The Baron always wins. And now I just need to get these two to infight. And there we go. Cool. Right, they're going to infight now. Yeah, if you shoot any of the demons first, they won't infight. They'll focus on you for a set amount of time. Well, it's not a set amount of time, it's a set amount of steps. So each demon has its own aggro time, or aggro distance, which is a number of steps that that demon will walk before it gives up on fighting you. So essentially, if you attack a demon and run away, eventually it will give up looking for you, which is kind of cool. This button opens up this door, which is cool. It gets us access to some plasma cells, and we can kill a couple of enemies in an area later on. Mostly just here for the plasma ammo. That's a big plasma pack. The regular plasma pack has like 20 cells, and I think this big one has... it's either 40 or 80, I can't remember, but it's useful. And I think there's a secret in here. Apparently not. Okay. What was I saying? Yes. Gets us access to... we can kill a couple of demons in an area later on. But we have the blue keycard now, which allows us to go and open the blue door. And again, I really like the aesthetic of a lot of this mission. Yeah, here is the blind pinky demon. That's the second one. I don't know why the blind pinky demons exist. I think it's to do with the way that the Doom engine works with vision. Because again, it's 2D, so having the door be blocking their vision and then opening the door, in the 2D map it's not really any different, but you have to make sure that the monsters can now see and go through that space. And I think when they were putting the pinky demons there, there's a problem with that. I'm not entirely sure what causes it, but yeah. So there are 2 pinky demons that until you shoot or go through the door, can't see you. There we go, we grabbed some ammo, a backpack, and we can go through here. There should be another... yeah, there's not a pinky demon. There's another invincibility sphere. I think there's actually 3 in this level. But here we get the drop on some people, and we get access to the yellow keycard. Well, people, some imps, and a couple of spectres. And it's mostly going to be imps and spectres for the rest of this episode. Or imps and pinkies for the rest of this episode. Mission. There's another Baron of Hell. And there's a secret with a rocket launcher, but given how little health and armour I have, I don't think I'm going to go for that one. There we go. Cool, so we have the yellow keycard, there's the yellow keycard door. And is there anything else I haven't explored? Ah, this room. This room's got a cacodemon in it. I don't think it's got anything else in it. It may have a secret, I can't remember. Again, chain gun, far too useful. Okay, that's a lot there. That's throwing for the red keycard. Cool. Right, so we open up, and all the imps have bunched up. They're not normally there. Cool. There's more unpegged textures here. Whenever you open these big doors, the textures are not pegged, so when the door comes down, the wall textures also come down. And, okay, I'm getting lag for some reason. The game obviously heard me talking shit about some of the problems with this level. I'm sorry, Sandy. I'm sorry, Tom Hall. Mainly because there is no way this game is lagging again. Okay, that's interesting. Doom ran pretty well on pretty much every PC and only requires like 4 megabytes of RAM, so there is no way that this game is properly lagging. It might be because I've got some stuff running in the background now that I think about it. So yeah, my intention was to have this episode and episode 3 and possibly episode 4 before Doom Eternal came out. I plan to have these episodes up, but for those of you that don't know, I live in Scotland, and it was about that week that the measures for coronavirus came into effect. So I'm at university, I'm writing my dissertation, and I have my end of year exams sort of scheduled around this-ish time, and they've all been cancelled and delayed. My university was closed, so all of that extra work that I had to do to deal with that took precedent. So I hadn't been able to record or upload, which is a bit of a shame. In here we have the Imps and the Barons of Hell. I don't want to go on too much about that because I know that's saturating a lot of your feeds right now, and I want to help you escape from that a little bit. So I'm going to punch this Baron of Hell to death. There we go. The invulnerability is good for that. The invulnerability is also good for seeing in the dark, which is useful in this area because there is a dark area. I don't really have a lot of health. There's a secret with a rocket launcher, but it's got a damaging floor and a teleporter and pinky demons, and going and grabbing that is not worth it. But this area has a plasma gun, which is good for the plasma ammo, and there he is. I probably shouldn't be punching considering how little health I've got and the fact I've got no armour. But there is a super armour in here, there's a green armour, combat armour, so we'll grab that, and in here there is more ammo, and a chainsaw, which I don't need. Cool. So I think, since I'm not going to get the rocket launcher secret, which is through there, yeah, we're good to go. This should be us getting out of the final mission. There's kind of a rule that the final mission, the penultimate mission, the mission before the boss fight, should be the hardest. I don't really think that's true in this case, but it's still kinda cool. And now we get into the final mission of Doom, Episode 2. The Tower of Babel. This is great. This is such a great boss fight. It's iconic, and it's the best part of Episode 2. 4 Barons of Hell that have been strung up and dismembered, and now we get to fight the thing that did it. So, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there either, but as you see there's tons of boxes of rockets. And that was the roar of the Cyber Demon. So, this really sets the stage for what Doom is most fondly remembered for. Big areas, fast movement, and tough enemies. The Cyber Demon is the toughest demon in the game in terms of health. The game really wants you to rocket duel him, but he doesn't take any splash damage from explosions, so killing this guy will take about 42 to 56-ish rockets, and that's a lot of time, and he's firing rockets at you, some of which can do like up to 300 damage, so even at full health and armour, which I am at, he could 1 or 2 shot me. He's not too bad. You circle strafe, he fires rockets and volleys of 3, but he takes a lot of punishment, and the Lost Souls can really screw you over. But the plasma gun is probably the quickest way of dealing with him. You need about 145 to 160 plasma cells to kill him. And there we go. You've done it. The hideous cyber demon lord that ruled the lost Deimos moonbase has been slain, and you are triumphant. But where are you? You clamber to the edge of the moon and look down to see the awful truth. Deimos floats above hell itself. You've never heard of anyone escaping from hell, but you'll make the bastards sorry they ever heard of you. Quickly you rappel down to the surface of hell. Now it's on to the final chapter of Doom. Inferno. That's right, the demons invaded the moon base and captured the moon. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video when we go on to deal with the final chapter of Doom. Peace, guys.